Good morning, traders. Welcome to our live session. This is a live session we do in our trading room. We give you all access to it. Please share it with other traders. Take the link, give it to them, tell them to join us, tell them the time, and I think they will find it beneficial. I think they will find it beneficial, and if they're lucky, they might be able to even make some money, right? So, okay, all the questions now keep for after. At the end, I will take questions. I will answer all your questions that you send to me. Let's go through very quick. So if you give me 3 minutes before we start to tell you about the group, because a lot of traders are asking me about that, the new traders as well as senior traders, I would like you to go to YouTube when you finish. I'm going to give you an hour of my time today, and I would like you to give me 3 minutes of your time. Go to YouTube. Open all the webinars that we did, London session yesterday, New York session especially, because New York session is an educational session if you were there yesterday. If you weren't there, watch it. It's very educational. You have a lot of stuff there that you would not get anywhere else, right? Share it, watch it to the end. Make sure you watch it to the end. It's not that long. There's some very, very good stuff at the end. Watch it to the end, share it, like it. Make sure that you can promote it. Promote it actually, because even that one is really worth giving to somebody else. Share it with traders you know. Invite a trader you know tomorrow. So instead of 27 people, we have about 60 people. We normally get about 60. I think people are not catching up with it's not getting to new. This guy, one guy just wrote me, he wants to be in the course with us, and he didn't even know that we have a live session. He doesn't know the link. So if you can share it, you might help traders to come. It's not they don't want to come. They don't know that the link exists. I shared it on Twitter, I shared it on YouTube, and I shared it on LinkedIn. If you're on any one of those places, please go share it there as well. Thank you very much for that. Let's move on, right? So I'll take this out now. You know my thing, Anil Mangal. You can find it on youtube.com/Anil Mangal, C/Anil Mangal, and you'll find me there, right? So you can just Google it, you'll find it. You can go to YouTube and search for it, you'll find it, basically. So let's go, let's start. This is what we normally do. Yeah, 3 minutes more before we actually supposed to start. So in the 3 minutes, I can tell you what we do as a group. We have a group on Facebook Workplace. It looks like this if you've never seen it. If you've never seen our group, I'll show you very quick what it looks like. This is what the groups look like. Oh, wrong place. It didn't come where I wanted it to go. Good. This is what the group looks like. These are all the places where we post charts, we post webinars, daily webinars. If you go here, you'll see all my daily webinars. We do them every day, every morning. I did it already this morning. It's done before the London session. And then you will see watch list. This is where we update all the trades we do a few times a day, 5-6 times a day, right? Trades are updated. That is the trades that we actually looked at. Besides that, traders post their own recordings in here, which is when they go in the trading room and they see things they post charts, they post, discuss, everything else you want happens here, right? And you're there for life. You have lifetime access to that group. So you can join us anytime. There's no specific time. We do the live webinars 2 times at least a year. It has never been 3 times, maximum 2 times a year. But you don't have to wait for it. You can join us anytime. You can join us 2 ways. You can either pay the full sum of money and get into the group immediately and get access to everything, including the live trading room, which is what we do here now. This is exactly how it looks like. Or you can actually pay in installment if you don't have the cash right now. Installment. We have actually reduced the installment to $100 to facilitate those who are trading very small accounts. What does that give you? It gives you the London webinar. You get that. The one that we record, the daily webinar, you get that. You get one update during the New York session. What we're going to try to do in the future, if more of you join, is we're going to try to bring you in live. So you get the live as well as the recording. And hope you can take trades with us, right? If that helps you, you make money. There's a lot of traders who are using it already, a lot of traders who finished paying out and already in the group. So if you want to know how to join, I think that's a big question. Send me a Skype message. You can send me a message anywhere, but it's better to send it to Skype because the Skype messages are stored specifically for this purpose. So if you're to lose your access to anything, you can send me a Skype message and I will see all the history of the messaging we had and you will get your access immediately. I don't need to ask you any questions, right? So I know it's you. You have access to that. So send me a Skype message. Skype, if you don't have it, download in 3 seconds. You can delete it if you don't like it until you're ready to ask me another question. You keep the Skype. Come on, it's stored the message very long, so you don't have to worry. MANGAL 457. That's my Skype. Send me a Skype message, and you will get everything. Okay, great. Let's go. So I think I'll take that off now. Erase. Let's erase that and let's go. Let's start. We'll start in dollar index, right? So what I'm going to do now is what we do normally in our London session. We already did the daily webinar. We went through everything. What you see here is markings that of trade setups we're looking at. Those markings will tell us what type of trade setups we're looking at. Remember yesterday we had it, but because yesterday afternoon the New York session was not working, most of that was closed, right? Because you would get out of them. We were in here, we did an educational bit and we closed most of it, right? So now we're going to see how it works. Let's come here. Okay, he's failing to work. Anyway, he'll join next time when you get the thing. I'm not in the patience to do that right now. Let's go. So dollar index. Dollar index, we looked at it. We decided that this is dying out. I told you that yesterday, if you're following us, that this is momentum is slowing down. What that means? That means that anytime it can drop. Now, every time it makes a new high, you can consider if you want to buy. But like I told you yesterday, when they break the top, they come back deep. When they break the top, they come back deep. Now, this one tagged top, so there's a chance it can fall. What would be better for us to get into the trade is if it actually makes a correction here. If it makes a flag here, then we will put an entry under there and we'll wait for the next impulse. We're always trying to get the next impulse, right? That is the trade setup. This is a strategy we use when we were at the extreme level. So we'll put an entry here, and if this drops, it's a good trade. Now, sometimes this would drop really fast. There's a news event, something happened in the world. I don't know why, but you do not use this strategy if you don't understand the criteria for it. I'm not giving you the criteria for the strategy. I'm giving you the strategy. We use it very rarely in extreme situations. Put an entry under the last impulse and see if this drops. Sometimes it happens. I can tell you, we did that on S&P 500 when it was at the very, very top, and it happened very well. So you don't put it the same time when you get it. When you realize that the chart is starting to die out, then you would put it here, and sometimes this goes back up. We'll put it here, this pull back, go back up. We'll put it here, it pulls back, go back up. We'll put it there, and one of this drop. Only in situations when we think we are going to get a big drop, that is valid. It is not valid to put it when you're not going to get a big drop, because it will tag you and pull right back up. Right? So the conditions on which you're going to stay in that trade is important. If it makes a flag here, we take off this. Right? So I'm showing you how we trade. I'm not telling you to take this trade because you might not be able to manage it the way we manage trade. And trade management is the most important thing you're going to do in your trading life. Right? So here, this is the trade setup. If we get a flag here, and that will happen by this afternoon, and if you join us in the New York session, you will see how we enter the trade, where we put the stop and what we're going to do with it. We were looking at this gold sell. So you could have been tagged in the gold sell already. Right? This is the 15 minutes. When you see them in orange, it means that's an extreme trade. It's an extreme trade in the 15 minutes. When you see it in red, it's a sell on the 1 hour. Right? I'm giving you some clues. How done is that? So we assume that this could go there. It could come back here. It could go here. It could probably stay here and make a new high. If we start to see a correction here, it's going to be a new high. So what you do if it doesn't go, the idea is that if this drops, then that trade is valid. So on the 15 minutes, it's here so long. When it comes back here, close to break even. If you haven't done that already, right? This one went up, it came, it's not dropping. On the 1 hour, this is not a 1 hour trade, but in the 1 hour, I still think we're going to stay here for a while. Resume recording. Sorry, guys, we had an issue with the microphone, but it's working again. So let's go. Sorry about that. My apologies. Let's move on. So this trade will be close to break even, but we're not closing the trade. We're not assuming that it is not going to drop. We expect it to drop and break this low. It means that the 15-minute trade didn't go the way we expected. And like I said, trade management is the most important thing. This comes here, it could probably consolidate here for a longer while. If we get a flag here, we'll trade the flag on the 1 hour. So the 15-minute trade, We'll take it off. If this drops really fast, we stay with it. If it comes here and it's, it's stopped and it started to do this, we'll close the trade. You're here, you'll see when we do it. So my traders, you're working towards a break even on this trade. And then we will wait for the next flag because it's not going as fast as we'd like it to go. Let's go. CAD. So you might or might not be tagged in the CAD because it depends on how far you put it under the low. I told you to stay 5-7 pips away. If anybody is tagged on this, don't worry, it's coming here, right? Wait for this, same thing, close it, put the entry under the low. This is the same low you put, right? Because this has become your last impulse up, right? So we'll still keep it right where it is. But if it comes here, you want to close it. You don't want to let it go back up, right? Your stop is here. You close it and then you re-enter here because we're going to go with this trade. It's still valid, right? That trade is still valid. It's still a flag. It's still going to drop. And I don't want you to move the risk higher because we can come here and then drop, right? This could be something like this. So for those traders who are not in our group, this is a trade we took this morning. We're looking at this pattern. And if you were here with me yesterday, remember what I told you. Go back and watch the webinar. I told you we're likely making a bigger pattern that looks like this. Let me go bring it. Yep. And not this one. Sorry, that was in the Swiss. I told you we're likely going to either drop or we're going to consolidate here and go back up. Right? Those are the two options. Consolidate here, go back up, or totally drop because we're in a big sideways move. Let me show you that in the 4 hour. Right? The CAD is in a big sideways move. So this is corrective, which means we might get one more of this down. Either they come here, go back up and then drop, or it drops now. That is the trade we're trying to get, and we're trying to get it under 15 minutes. So the 15 minutes, we're still in the consolidation. This is a flag, but it's still in the consolidation. This is still in the consolidation. So the idea is whether this is going to drop here, go back up there, come here, and then go that way, or if it's going to drop like this. So if it drops like this and go back up, we will get out of that trade for positive. We'll probably even get a good profit in that trade. It's going to be more than 1-to-1. And we will look for this buy to the upside. We'll close it here and then look for the sell, buy back again for the upside. Because the possibilities you're making a running flat here. If this is all the correction, if that there is all the if that there is a top of the move, this is all the correction we're dropping, that would be a fast trade to the downside. So because of that, we're taking the trade, put it in the 15. And as you can see, if we get in the trade and it doesn't go, you get back out of the trade. You can stay with this for a while if you want. It's still consolidating here. It will probably do this some more and then drop. We don't need to do that. By rule, we don't do that. We rather take 5 pips or so lost here, re-enter the trade here. If it drops, you stay with the trade, right? If it goes higher, we sell it from higher. You can sell it 10, 15 pips higher than where you are right now. So take the 5 pips loss, close it. This trade is coming back here. It's consolidating. You can see that this is not dropping. This is consolidating here. So it comes back to this level, close the trade. Leave the entry right under this one and wait for that to go back up. Right? That goes back up. It drop again. We will sell under this impulse. So we'll show you how we move it up. These are the money management strategies we're using. So you don't stay with trade if they're not going your way. And when trades go your way, they go. You don't have to do anything, right? The philosophy in our group is good trades take care of themselves. You have to take care of the bad trades, right? What that means is simple. If you had an entry there and it drops like this, that takes care of itself. You don't have to worry about that. What you have to worry about is the trades that are not going. Those are the ones you have to manage. So this, we will take this as a break-even, negative break-even, small loss, 5-6 pips, and then the trade is not a 5 pips trade, right? So we'll go with that. Keep it. If you haven't taken break-even as yet, wait for it to come a little more, take break-even. Euro-yen. Euro-yen went up. We assumed it could go. We didn't get a buy session. You wouldn't buy here because we don't know that it's going to break the top. We spoke about that as well. Possibility it could. You don't know, and that's not a buy setup. We're going up, but we're in this structure. This is what it looks like in a 4 hour, right? This is what you have. So this could be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 for upside, but with this correction here and the possibility that this is going slow, you would have to let it prove a flat here before you buy. And we don't have a flat there. So there is no correction. And if you jump inside, well, you figure out that once in a while they will go. Most times they don't. So if this would have been a buy, if this comes back here, then we have a buy setup. We get a flat and then we get a buy setup. So the sell is off because you broke the top. So the sell is off, take it off. We still don't have a buy setup. And we'll come back to that. Aussie yen. I'm just going through the ones we take, then we'll go through the rest of the trades for you guys, the rest of the setups we have. Aussie yen, we're back at the top. The only setup we're expecting this to do is expect that if it comes back to this level, make a flat and go back up. So we're kind of in a big sideways move here, if you can see it that way. So you came down, you kind of consolidate, you go there, you come here, you consolidate, you go there, they can come back to this level, go back up, either break out or you can come back here and go back up. So it's going sideways. Do we want the sell? It's not a bad sell if you get it from where it is. But once you come back to the top, you take off the sell. When we put it in this morning, we weren't at the top as yet. We're pretty much just coming down. So that would have been a sell. You take it off. Why you take it off? Because this becomes a running flat. It breaks the top, it comes back here and go. You're not going to have a risk to reward trade. This will become a running flat and we'll go up. We'll still come back here and then go break the top. We are going to break that top. But a trade to the top is very, very, very slow. Right? It is going to break the top because of this pattern. I showed you this yesterday. Because of this pattern, this one is going to crawl its way up. But you can see the way it's going up, right? It's really going. So it's going to come here, go back there, come here, go back there, do this, break the top, and then come back down. So the question is, can we get that last piece of trade? And that's the one we're trying to get. We're trying to get a sell and then the buy. You don't have a setup to take it. You just can't buy it because it will pull back. But if it does pull back here, we'll be looking for that buy. Right? Either back to the top here or either for the breakout. So we will look for that buy if it pulls back. If you don't have the pullback, you don't have a good risk to reward trade to go with. So I'll take this off and we'll wait. Euros. Euros broke out. This was the trade from yesterday. Actually, we were looking at it. We were here this morning and we saw, remember yesterday, I told you we want this to go back up. At this point, if it drops, you want that trade. That's one more sell, right? This would be the trade. And then we would look for the upside. Well, it actually broke out already. So this turned out to be just a deep pullback. This is all the flat. This would be all the correction. That's a deep pullback. This here would be a really deep pullback. Normally, when you get such a deep pullback, the consolidation continues. You broke the stop. Any flag here is a buy setup. Where would the buy take us? Well, go back to the bigger picture. You want to see what the big pattern is. If you weren't here yesterday, watch the New York session. Because the New York session tell you why we are always looking at these patterns the way we look at them. So we broke the low here, and two things happen when you break the low. You're either making a running flat or you're totally reversing. I don't think this is totally reversing because we're trying to get to this low. The bigger structure is trying to go to this low. See? This was your impulse. This was your correction, and we're coming back to get to this low here. We're going to eventually break that low. I don't think we're making a bigger correction in here, right? Unless this is making a bigger correction in here, then going back up there to the top, coming back here, and then going back up there may make sense. Sometimes that happens, but right now we can't assume that they are doing that. Right? We don't have any reason to assume that that is what is happening. So we go back to the 4 hour. We broke the low. We do have some divergence, and that means we're expecting some kind of a correction. I think the correction is going to come back to this top. Come back to that top and then come back here. So this is a tradable one, right? You just have to have the confirmation that it's going now. So on the 1 hour, we didn't get that confirmation until we break out. So now we broke out of that structure. Now you have the confirmation. As of this morning in the New York session, in the London session, when we were trading this morning, we had this happening and this was coming down. So if that came down, we will retest the low like this and then go back up. Well, they didn't. So we go with 1, 2, 3. We go with 1, 2, 3. This is a deep pullback in the up move. So any flag here now, any consolidation becomes a buy. That confirms there are more impulse to the upside. So we wait. Because can this still drop lower? And this is the question I think a lot of you ask. What if they go up like this? Can it drop lower back here again? Yes. And that is why you wait for the flag. Because if you jump in the trade here now, you can watch this come back all the way to the bottom here. This would be a big running, a big flat. Come back here, make a 1, 2, 3, drop here, and then go. And this would become a bigger correction. That's all. That's the fractal nature of the market, how they develop. So a lot of you get trapped in that because you don't understand the possibility of the pattern getting bigger and bigger. Right? If you understand that possibility, then you don't get trapped into it. You wait for the setup. Wait for a flag here. We do not have a flag, which means we don't have a trade setup as yet. So I'll take this off. We'll wait. Euro New Zealand, we had a sell in it. So yesterday, if we were in the Euro New Zealand, you'll remember we had the sell under the low. And I told you that this was going like this. It has to come back here, go back up to the top, and then we will consider the sell, right? So this morning, it went up first yesterday, then it pulled back. That's a running flat. In the case that it break the low, it's an expanding flat. So now you have 1, 2, 3. Normally from here, the sell would have been perfect if we get a flag here, right? We put it under the low, but you wait for a flag from the top. Now we have a much sharper move up, right? That's a much sharper move than we were expecting. The bigger structure in this is not upside. Unlike what we have in the Euro Oz, the bigger structure of this is not upside as yet, right? Because this was the downside move. This is the low of the move. We had a move up. Let me put it in the 4 hours so you can see that. So we have a move up here. We have a move down, and we're in this one here now. So I think this move could come back here, could do something like that, still come retest this low and then go. On the bigger picture, that's what we were expecting it to do. Retest the low and then go. This is the bigger structure. If you watch yesterday's webinar, you will know we are always in a single pattern. We're always in a single pattern. This is your big impulse. This is a 1. This is 1, 2, 3. At some point, this finishes and then go back up there. And then we will come back here. See, pretty easy. So here's what you can do. All of you here, 44, 43 of you, take a picture of this. Take a snapshot of this. Draw it in your own chart. Keep it there. And you will follow me to see how that structure goes or changes. I can show you one previous to this, and you can go on. You can go on TradingView. You will have to go back to this date here on my chart. Go on my profile. It's banned. I don't know if you can see my profile, but if you can see it, go there, dig it up. Go back to this date and look at the chart. You would see something like this: 1, 2, 3 to break this top without this correction here. A straight arrow showing you that we're going to come and we're going to break that top, and then we're going to come down. Because we thought we were going to make 1, 2, 3, and then come down. That was a simple pattern, right? That was the thought process. And you can actually find it because it will write 3,003 pips. And I think all of you know who were with me at TradingView understand why I wrote 3,003 pips, because there was a scammer there writing, he's giving away 1,001 pip free. And I'm like, why only 1,001? Let's give away 3,003 for free. I am absolutely sure my forecast worked, but his didn't go, right? The moderators were very angry and they banned the chart. they banned me for a while too, which is normal, right? So it shows that you can write nonsense, but it's nonsense. I just want to exaggerate the nonsense by putting 3,003 pips to let people realize that it is nonsense. Did it go there? Yes. You're not going to buy here and hold it there, especially with this pullback, this consolidation, and you didn't even know whether you're going to get that move up, right? But what happens when you start to see this? We figure out that this is sharper than that. So when it comes back here, we assume that this is going to make a running flat. This is not the 1, 2, 3. That's a running flat. We're going to go back up. So are we correct about that? You will be witness to it, and we will tell you whether we see any change in it. We haven't seen any change in it so far. The only question I have now, is this the one going up? I don't think so. This one is pretty sharp. So I think, and I don't think we're making another flat here. It's possible, but I don't think so. I think we're going to break this low and then take off. Now that forecast could change if this correction in here turns out to be much bigger. And then we come here and we go back up there. This would become a flat. This would drop, break the low, but we're still going to go back up. So the bigger forecast doesn't change. What changes? The internal smaller forecast. Right now, we think it's going to come and break the low. So let's go back on the 1 hour and show you why we think so. So this is coming down really sharp. This one is coming down really sharp here, relatively sharp. You can see that it has some correction, but it's sharp. Now we're making more of like a flat. So I'm looking at this and thinking, well, we've got to move up, we've got to move down, we've got to move up. We're getting a move down here. We could get another move up, make a flat in here, and then drop. Can it go up from this point? And we would look at this as the flat. It's possible. I wouldn't, exclude that possibility. We could go up from here, and this here would be the flat. That there would be the flat. And this would go up here, break the top, and then drop. Can we buy it to break the top? Well, we have to have a flag here. If we get a flag there, we can buy it. We're not buying this flat to go up because we don't know that this flat is going to go. Can it still drop? Here's the next question. Can it still drop, do this, and then go back up? Absolutely. Can it drop and drop through the bottom? Absolutely. What is the sell? The sell is still here for now. That sell will change if this going down gives us a flag. So if this starts to go down, give us a flag here. This week we will get the sell. You are in the group, so you will see whether we get a sell or whether we get a buy if you follow us. By the end of the week, there is going to be a trade on this chart. So it's either going to be a buy or a sell. Stick around, you'll see it. I'll take this off for now. I'll leave this up, but I'll put this as a sell still because we still have this. We're not moving this as yet. We're not going to sell here. It's too far away. But I'm leaving it as a sell setup to follow it. Euro Swiss. Same here. We went back. It moved up quite a lot, but this is a very sharp impulse. So the confidence of this going down, at least one more, is very strong, right? This is a sharp impulse. You kind of make 1, 2, 3 in there. It can drop here. It can probably make another correction, go another correction, go another correction, go, then drop. This will become a flat and this will become upside. We will still sell this because the impulse is very sharp. The range is big. You can take a sell. So we'll keep this sell here. Right, we're going to keep this sell under the low. We're going to change it to sell now from a sell setup to sell. We're not going to be selling it under the low. That is too far away from where the price is right now. We will wait for a flag in here. Let it come, make a flag here, and we'll take that flag to go. Right? Let's see if we get that trade. You'll see how we do it. Just stick around. EuroCAD. EuroCAD, we had 2 trades this morning. Two options this morning, right? One is that this one is going to drop. It was here. I think it was here. It is going to drop. We will take the smaller trade back to this level. Now that it has gone up, we will go with this. You have 1, you have 2, you have 3. This trade is valid. Take out the second one. Take off this now. So we're going to go with this as the running flat. We're going to take this to be the running flat. You have 1, 2, 3. That's an impulse. If it breaks that low, we want to sell. Right? So we're just like this one here, right? We actually sold it here. It tag us, pull back, and then drop. So this one is here. It could come tag you, pull back, and then drop. Where is this going? Well, if you look at a bigger picture, this is the pattern. See? We showed you that yesterday. We're looking at this 1, 2, 3, and then this should drop and break the low. So this is the trade we are going for, and we don't know how low it's going to go after that because on the weekly or on the daily, you're pretty much very much low. See? We're very low in the structure. We're back at this low. Now, all depends on whether all of this here is a big flat. If all of this is a big flat, it will just break this low, and then you can go right back up to the top here. See? Or it can break through the low, and then we will go back and see whether, I still don't think it's going to break through the low. Even if it breaks through the low, we'll go with a running flat because the bigger structure you can see is this. Right? You kind of get a move down, you get a correction, you get a move down, you get a correction. If you take that as a correction, we can break this low here, and then all of this would be the bigger correction for up back like this. Right? If we get the bigger one, I'll tell you what the bigger possibility is. So we can break that low, or we can actually go back up here, break the low here, go back up there, make a bigger flat, and then come back up. We're still in this sideways move, literally. That looks like a flag on the 60 minutes, right? Impulse, flag, breakout. Well, we are trading the very bottom of it. So go back to the 1 hour, put it here. All we wanted to do is break this low because it will break that low. That is the trade. Very simple. You put the entry order in and you wait to see if it drops. If we get a flag before that, we'll take it, but you don't need a flag here. This is not that a big a trade, right? So where would the stop for this trade be? If you ask me, well, we normally put a stop above the top. Now, this is where it gets difficult because I'll have to go into a little of the strategy to tell you what we do there, right? The stop is here not because I think that's where we never lived with that stop. You're not expecting to, you're never going to allow it to come and stop you there, but the chances it can tag you and go back up there and then drop, and you get something like this. So you don't want it to come take you out here and then drop. Sometimes we don't even allow it to get there. We close it right here. Like I just showed you, we close the cat for 5 pips difference, right? You're not going to allow it to go 50, 60 pips and take you out. That doesn't happen, right? So we will close the trade way before then, but you don't want it to come here really quick, go back up there really quick, and then drop really quick, and you're out of the trade. So you keep the stop here. Now, you may say that's a big stop. Well, it depends on where your target is. And it depends on how much you're risking in the trade. So if you normally risk 1% with a stop here, right, and you're targeting this, the break of this low, right, that's your stop, that's 1%. And this is where your target is. Let's say the break of this low, so you'll get 2 to 1. You can still get 2 to 1. Just put 2% here, right? You're never going to take off 2%. You're never going to allow it to take you out for 2%. The most you would ever lose, if you lose, is about 0.5%. It has to really come here and take off like a rocket to take you out for that 2%. So you put 2% there, and by the time it gets here, you still get 2%. See? But the chances of you being taken out is less. The chance of it going, and it can come here, go back there, take you out for 1%, and then drop, and you're not in the trade. Or you put 2%, it comes here, it goes there, it drop, come back here, you get 2%. It comes here and it starts to consolidate. You close the trade here for 0.5%. See? So trade management is very, very important. And that's something we spend a lot of time in our trading room. Every individual trade has its specific trading rules and trade management rules. So you get this when you join and if you'll be joining this session live, and even if you join the installment, you'll probably get the live session to see all of that. So that's a trade setup, basically, in basic terms. It looks pretty easy when I already draw the chart and I show you it. If I take everything out of this chart and you have to do all of that, it is not that easy. So I see traders who said, okay, I saw what he's doing, I'm going to try that. And then they take losses and they get confused. How the hell is my chart not looking like yours? Well, it's like you looking at a surgeon and doing an operation and said, well, yeah, I know how to cut. I've been cutting meat my whole life. I could do that, you know, the operation and the appendicitis operation. Why not? I'll just cut it out, right? So you look at that. You want to check the USD, and we'll come to it just now. 1 second. Pound. This is a buy. If my traders, if you took that, take the profit off. Remember, one single impulse. This is a trade, by the way, we took this morning, 15 minutes. You take it, it come to the top, close the trade, take it off. We're looking for one impulse up. So that's a profitable trade. Close it, take your profit. If you didn't, close it now, because we're expecting this. This is the pattern. 1, correction, 2, correction, 3, drop. So now we'll be looking for a sell. So you just got one profitable trade, take that off. Now we're looking for the opposite direction. We're expecting this to come and break the low. So it has to come down. I'll take that trade off. That is over. It has to come down, make a flag, and then we will sell. This is the pattern we're looking at. See? You're expecting that to drop below this point, like this. So come and break this low, wait for a flag here, we'll sell it. So one gone, profitable, we look for the next one. Right? See? Let's go. Aussie Swiss, sell setup. If you're tagged, keep it, it's still valid. It's going to come back here, close it. If it doesn't go in a couple hours, give it at least a couple hours. If it doesn't go, I think that's a question somebody asked, how many hours? There's no specific time. Each one is individual. We look at the behavior, we see the pattern, we see what it's doing. This is still going to drop to this level. You can stick around with it a little longer if you want, and then give it an hour or two more, and then if it doesn't go, close it. Right? But if it goes, great, we'll get the trade. So let's go. I will leave that there. We'll come back and check it. US oil. Aggressive sell, it's still valid. This is an aggressive sell. So two things could happen here. This could break out of the low, but because this is so sharp, I don't think they'll break. They'll likely come here. They'll go back up. We will get something like this, right? 1, 2, 3. If this gets a lot of consolidation, be careful. It will become the B part. They will only come here. They'll go back up there. They'll come here. They'll go back up and then drop, right? So if this starts to get a lot of consolidation, be careful of this trade. On the 15, let's see, it's still pretty much valid. You can put the entry order here now. Oh, we're making a flat here of our own. We came back to the top. So I think this would be a smaller one. We're making 1, 1, 2, 3. This is going to come here, tag you, go back up, take it off. Take it off. So the chances are now this is going to come here very sharp, tag you like this, go back up. And if we see that, then we will try to take this trade to come here, go back up, come back, go back up, and then drop. See? Every time it comes to the top, we will try to sell it. So the sell here is off because of this, because it came back to this top. So we'll take off the sell. Wait for it. We're waiting for this to come here first, go back up, and then come down. it should go back up and then drop here. So we'll see if we get this trade here. That will be later today. I don't think it's going to drop now. If it goes higher, no problem. We don't want to trade in the buy. S&P 500, yep, still a sell. You can move that sell up to this level here now. This is a flag forming here. These trades will probably go in the New York session. I told you that yesterday. They'll go in the New York session. Here's what you're going to look for. It's going to be a single drop, one drop. Take profit because it's going to go right back up, make a running flat, and then drop. See, that's what we're expecting. So if it makes one drop, just like the pound trade I show you, one spike, take the profit off. This could go much more up, right? This is your impulse. And this impulse is within this. So this could climb its way up to the top there. And if you want to buy into that, that's up to you. I don't like to buy into those. You can buy if you under 5 minutes make profit if you want, but then this is going to come back here, go back there, and then drop. We will sell it from here for this move, take profit, go with that, probably buy it, sell it back because this would still be a running flat. I'm just expecting a big consolidation in the middle. They do that. That is not new. You don't look at this big consolidation. See this? Look at this. This is a classical one. It goes and make a flag, break the top, come back here, right? You got trapped in it. You didn't figure out what was happening because you don't see the running flats, the more complex patterns, right? So we had a lot of those, and I think this is still going to drop and break this low. So eventually the trade we're looking for would be breaking this low. I think we're going to get it before the end of this week. Follow us and you'll see that happen. So we're trying to get this small one first, and then when it goes back up, we'll sell for the bigger one. Let's stay with it. The same thing here. Can you move this up? Not as yet. We can move it up, but not as yet. This is a small correction. Let's wait. And this. Yeah, we can move this up now. We can move this up to this level, right? So we saw the possibility of that going up to the top there, but it might look like, well, why don't you buy it? Well, where would you have bought this? Here? What if it had tagged you there and then dropped like this? Because that was possible. You don't know that it's going to come and retest the top. This thing is doing this all the time. You don't know how long it's going to do that before it actually drops. And if you think you know, you're setting yourself up for failure. Don't trade in here. Trade for this move. Trade for when it drops and give you that move. That is a trade you're looking for, right? You want the big one. Remember what I showed you yesterday? The basic thing. Remember, always remember that 1, 2, and I want the third one. So if this is going to drop, I want this trade. And then when it starts to go back up, you see, we went for that trade. So when it goes back up, 1, 2, 3, we're going to go for this trade. We can get it from the bottom here. When that is finished, we're going to go for the bigger trade down. So we are buyers and sellers, depending on what patterns we have. That is still valid. DAX. Yeah, you can do it. You can take it now. We took it off this morning because it was going crazy, but now you can go and buy it, sell it. If you want, you can put the sell here. It's still valid. It's a valid sell now. So we can turn this into a sell. It's an aggressive sell, but you can leave it just as a sell. Once it breaks this low here, put it in the break even. Let's see how far it goes. I don't know how far this is going to go because this is the low. If they break the low, they can go as far as possible. So we will just put this to break even. Once this low is broken, we'll put it to break even and we'll stay with it. We'll give up this if it goes back up. We'll take the break even trade. But if it drops, this is the trade you actually want. See? Pretty simple. Each trade in the video. Let's go. And we don't do the cryptos, but if you guys want, I can look at them for you. That is what we do. So that's an update to the trades we have. That is recorded, and that actually goes live into the room, the trading room. So if you're at work, you can watch it live. Into our workplace, it's streamed live at any point in time. You can join, at any point in time you can watch it. The recording of this will go to our installment pairs. Hopefully we can get them live in the future, right? So we can get them live as well. That's it, the trades. Now what we would do if we're in the trading room is my traders would start to tell me what are the trades they want me to look at. Somebody said they want me to look at the USDN. And my traders, you can start telling me what you want to do. Okay, it gone up very much, so we will go with a contracting flat. That was something we discussed this morning. It's still going up. You can't buy it. You don't know the buy in this level here. We spoke about that. I wanted to come and test this low. So I was thinking they would do 1, 2, 3, and then go up. Yesterday we spoke about that, right? This would have been a classical flat. It went up again. It actually did this. It went up back to this level. So we were thinking whether this is it and whether this could be 1, 2, 3, and this was it, but we didn't break the low. And that means if you're doing that, you're going with a contracting flat. Something I really don't like to forecast because it's really complex and really difficult to do. So if we take the contracting flat, which I think we could clearly assume that it is a contracting flat now, this one didn't break the low because you're already going up really sharp. When they start to push like that, that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. That's a good sign for reversal. Let's go back. If you can go back, way back into the daily. And when you're reaching an extreme level for the reversal, see when you reach it, they kind of push really sharp and then reverse everything, make a flag and then go, right? So you would start to find sometimes when they're at a low point, they're going to push really fast before they reverse. Like this last piece, see this last piece here? They make a really sharp push and then they reverse, make a flat and then go. So most times you're going to find at the reversal point, you're going to have a really, really sharp push to the one side or the other. Now let's hope that this is a sharp push for reversal. Again, I don't think we have a contracting flat in here because I can't see it for the bigger picture that I showed you. So this should come back here. If it goes that much, we might end up putting this is the running flat. We spoke about that yesterday, whether we think that is the running flat. I don't like it. This has a lot of consolidation, but that might be it because this is going really sharp. So eventually, let's see how high this goes before it turns. Can you buy it to the top there? Not if you don't have a flag. Don't chase it if you don't get it. Don't jump in trade because they're moving. If you jump in because they're moving, most times you're going to get yourself in trouble. When you get a setup, take the trade. When you don't have a setup, let it go. We don't have a setup here. I'll let it go. And I didn't see a setup for buy. You could have probably tried to trade this here and say, well, yeah, but this was a thing here, but that was inside of this. And you're at the top of it. So you're only assuming that it could break this top and then turn back. If we had broken this low, this would have been a buy. Well, the low didn't break, so we're going to skip it. So if you re-enter in the CAD, if you closed it, you re-enter. If you didn't close it, let's see how it came down. Did it come down fast or slow? Whether you would have closed it, go into 15. Yeah, you should close it. Close it and then re-enter. Close it. But if you got tagged again, this actually dropped one. So if you haven't closed it, close it here and put the entry. If you want to stay with it, keep the stop here. It's going, so you can stay with it. I think we can stay with it. You don't have to close it. It's moving fast. See, one candle, we're making new lows. So stay with it. If you closed already, re-enter right where it is, right where the entry was. So if you close a break even, re-enter and let's go. I think we're going to go now. So let's see if they drop. When it breaks this low, then we'll put it to break even and see if we can break this low. If it comes to this low, we take profit because it's going to go back up. So let's wait. What are the trade setups you guys looking at? My traders could tell me, we'd look at them. Give me an idea what trades you're looking at right now. Keep your eyes on all the indices will probably break during New York session. Keep your eyes on them. The flags are perfect. You don't want anything better than that. Silver, let's see what silver is doing. Yeah, it's going up more. So the question is if we're gonna go with a long drawn out running flat. Let's look back at this pattern here. If we take this to be it, 1, 2, 3, we still have this one here. So it's this here. So this one is just going up. We're expecting a running flat. We don't have anything else. Yesterday we thought this would break. It went up. Once it go up there, you take off the trade. It's not valid. We take it off live. It pulled back. It's going up. It's pulling back. It's going up. Are we heading for the upside? Let's go in the 4 hour. So could silver be turning? Right, let's assume silver is turning back to the top. We expect that to happen, right? We expect this to go back and we expect it to get to about this level. So there's a 90% chance that when it goes, it could eventually get to that level, which is the repeat of this. Right, there's a 90% chance for that. The question is it actually turning here now? Right, we don't know that. So what will be the clue that it is turning? So let's go here. On the 15, Aussie on the 15 will come. We do have divergence. We were expecting it to turn. So you can go on the 4 hour. You're going up, but it's really, really slow. It's not a strong impulse to the upside, like on a 1 hour even. We're not going up with a solid impulse. I explained this already. We're not going up with an impulse and a correction. We're going up like this, mostly corrective. So what would be the trade setup? If we had a flat here that was perfect, this could have been a buy. So what I would do for the buy setup is wait for this. Wait for this to either pull back here, make a flag like this, and then we will consider that as a buy. right? If it doesn't drop to the bottom. If it drops to the bottom, we'll take the sell and then we'll wait for the buy. If we're gonna buy it, let this piece make a flat, a really big flat, not a small 15 minutes flag, because that's not gonna go very far. You have a 15 minutes flag, I don't like it, it's not gonna go very far. So let's wait for an hourly flat or a running flat complete. And then we take the trade. If you're gonna go that distance, you can wait a little more, right? You can wait for that confirmation. This is very corrective. The minute you get in is the point where it starts to drop, right? 1 hour after you get in, it starts to drop and you start to panic. So let's go, Aussie. Okay, anybody got in the trade? If you got in the trade, and the last impulse would be here, but it's not a big trade, so don't worry if you didn't get in. We wanted to break the low. I think we let it break the low, skip it. We were in the sell yesterday, but it went up too deep. So let it come back here. Let it break through the low. Let it break through this low and then we'll sell it. If you're in the sell from there, just stay with it. If you're in the 15-minute sell from there, stay with it for a while because it came back pretty deep. Remember, we can go with 1, 2, 3, go back up there, make a flat here. This would not be the running flat. All right, we looked at that possibility. This would not be the running flat, and then we will drop. Let's go back here and see. 15 minutes. We're treating it as a running flat for now. It's coming down. If you took the trade, if you took this 15 minutes trade, keep it for a while. I don't think it's going back up immediately. Keep your stop above the top here. They're not going to break the top, right? Because we'll have to break the low first. So it's likely going to just keep coming like this, and then we'll see. So it's not a fast moving trade. It's a slow moving trade as they get to the bottom. For those who noted us yesterday, Aussie is coming down to this level. We're looking at this running flat, 1, 2, 3. And this one is coming to break the low, but it starts to slow down. And the reason it's slowing down is because this is the low of a daily correction, right? We're at the bottom of a daily correction. If you go back, I think it was in January, this was where? November, January, June, May, June, April, May, June. Somewhere last year, I think was last year, somewhere in summer or something when this was going up. We had here, and I told you, watch for this to go up there and then make a deeper correction and then continue to go. I think somebody went and write some craziness, but as usual, you're always going to get a throw. Well, with this is what we have. We have an impulse. Remember what I showed you. You're going to get a move, you're going to get a correction, and you're going to get, and that happens in all time frame. Now, we would not buy here hoping that is going to go. We're trying to sell this here and then start the buy to go back to the top. And if we're lucky, we could get a number, we could get about 50 buys going up to the top there, right? So we're going to be looking for that trade. First, it has to break this low. So this has to come down and break the low, right? It doesn't have a far way to go. There is about 96 pips to break the low. Can we get this sell? Let's go for it. 1 hour. If you guys in the 15 minutes hold it for a while, keep a stop above this. Put your stop above here. If you're not in the trade, you can put an entry under the low here. Put an entry under the low, but keep a stop higher than it. You can keep a stop here. We'll close the trade before it breaks that. So if they come and they break this low and they decide to go back up, it will be a running flat. It will be like this. So they'll probably come to about here and go. So your stop here is still good. The trade is beyond this. So you're putting a stop for a 1-to-1 trade. I explained to you if you want more than 1-to-1, what you can do, right? So take the trade here. For those who took the 15 minutes, it's okay. If you haven't taken it, we'll take the trade under the low here. It's still good. They can still break that level. That's 96 pips to go. It's a good 1-to-1 trade. Put a stop here. Take it as a 1-to-1. New Zealand, we're not taking the New Zealand. It's going to go back up. So this has 1, 2, 3. This came back to the top. Most likely when they come here, they're going to go back up, make a flat like this. Now you're going to have 1, 2, 3, and this is going to drop. So we'll either see if we get that buy, and then we'll go for the sell. Don't trade it here. You don't have anything to trade. This is not a trade. This is just showing you the low, right? So we're not trading anything there. Swiss yen. Let's go to the Swiss yen. You guys tell me whatever trade you want me to look at. We go and we look at them, and if there's a trade set up, we put the trade on. If there isn't any trade set up, we don't put. Swiss yen broke out. I don't know if any one of you got the trade. It would have been a trade from under 1 hour. You wouldn't get a trade. There's no flag here. The flag was yesterday, but we didn't trade yesterday afternoon, so we didn't put anything on. So we broke the top. This is what we have. right? This is the structure you're looking at. It's an up structure with a lot of pullback in it. You can see that. A lot of pullback in this. Let's see what the weekly looks like. So we've gone, this went up, break the top, but it's really, really high. This is really, really high. So on the monthly, you're at a monthly top almost, right? This was the monthly top previously, and we were almost there, right at the top. If you go back and you look at the structure from here, you had a move up, you had a flat. See that flat there? We have a move up, we have a sharp move down, but we don't have a flat. You notice this one broke the top here. If you go back and you look at it, it broke the top, then came back down. So let's put it like this. See that move that stretched to the top there, here, this one? It went up, broke the top of this move, and then came right back down to here to complete the flat, right? So you have 1, 2, 3. You got these two, complete that flat, then you go back up. But let's look at what we have here now. We have 1, put it at the top here. And we have 1, 2, 3. But we broke the top, just like this, right? It broke the top. Are we gonna get this move down, come back here, complete this flat, and then go? That's a question, right? You look at the way patterns behave, and said, is it going to do that? So right now we're at the very top of this. Do we have any divergence on the charts? Let's see. Yeah, I think we still have some divergence here. Yeah, we kind of have it for now. That could change. Go back on the 1 hour at the top there. And in this pattern, I'm expecting this to pull back anytime, right? Because either this is the absolute top, or this is making a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, make another flat, go back up there, because this is the biggest correction. And if you get a big correction like that here, wait for a sell setup to come back. We don't have a sell setup. You're not putting entry order until you get a setup. There is no sell setup. If you're talking about this one, we don't have a sell setup as yet. So we can't put it. We'll get it. Stick around for the week. You'll see how we take it. Just let it go. Don't jump into it. Can you take, okay, we have Bitcoin, ETH, XRP. We'll come to that just now, on Euro USD. So let's look at Euro USD first. Okay, so as long as we're in this, we're looking for a sell. Let me give you the daily structure. Euro USD, this is the daily structure. Just so you remember, we told you this flat. Once we thought it would break the top. If you look at my forecast, break the top, then come back and break the low. That was the forecast, right? Well, it didn't break the top. Dollar index did break the top. This didn't break the top. So dollar index is a regular flat. This one is a contracting flat. And it's coming. We broke the low. So this is the structure you're in now. You had an impulse. You had a flat. You made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you get another flat, same size flat like this. And then you broke the low. How low it can go? Well, I don't know. They could work their way down, but then eventually you're going out of this. Eventually you're going out of that. So the question is, how low can this go before it turns, right? That's the only question you're asking. We go back to the 1 hour. We broke the low. Do we have a sell setup? Absolutely. This was a sell setup. We saw this. We knew that was a sell setup. This was a sell setup. We're waiting here now. And I'm looking for this as a sell setup right now, because I think this correction here is finished. I'm looking at it this way. 1, 2, 3. If I'm wrong about that, then we would look at it this way. 1, 2, 3. This has to go back up to the top here, break that top. Make this 1, 2, 3, come back here, probably 1, 2, 3, make a big flat here, go back to the top and then drop. This will all be a big correction. Now here's a question. We did break the low. Are we reversing? We broke this low. Can we assume that once we break the low of the flat, this is the start of the reversal? You can always assume that, but we don't have a buy setup. For me, to get a buy setup, it has to break out of the structure, pull back like this, and now we start the buy. And we're going to be buying as if this is starting the daily, weekly, monthly structure to the upside. We'll continue to buy and buy and buy. There will be deeper pullbacks, but we will buy and then we'll start selling the deeper pullback. So I don't know for a fact this is starting. This is not a sharp impulse. This is very similar to this, and this one dropped. So I'm putting a sell setup here, right? We had a sell setup here. We had a sell set up here and we had a sell set up here. So I'm putting a sell set up here. If this drop, at least back to this level, I want that trade. See, that could be the low eventually. We'll see. So there's a sell set up there in the euro. You guys can put it on. We'll put it as an aggressive sell. It will only become a buy if it breaks out, make a flag, then we'll go for the buy. As of now, we're treating it downside. This could be an ending diagonal, right? Kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could even expand. It could be like this. Come here and then take off, which is this ending the structure, right? You call it an expanding ending diagonal, if you get it. CAD is going good. Don't move it as yet, right? When it breaks this low, then we'll put it to break even and we'll stay with it to come and break this low, right? So you see how we trade. Pretty easy. See the last impulse, put it there. If you close it, put it back. This is good. Same thing we just did on the euro. Put it under the last impulse. This is your last impulse. Put it under the last impulse. That is if you understand which impulse to put it on, when to put it. Not under every last impulse because you're going to end up losing your account. Remember, all that I'm doing that looks so simple has to do with years of experience of understanding each individual pattern that we're looking at on every given time frame, on the 4-hour, the hourly, the daily. So it looks easy when I'm telling you, put the entry here. If you take a blank chart and you try to put the entry, I think most of you know what happens. So you can decide. Let's go. What else am I looking at? What other trades you want me to look at? Oh, we have to look at Bitcoin and so, right? Let's look at Bitcoin for you guys. Let's go. Bitcoin. All making consolidation for downside. I'm going to look at them on the 4-hour. It will be easier for you guys to figure it out, right? This is what we're doing. See? Remember what I told you. If you go back and watch at my webinar, let's start from this point. Let's have some fun. Trading has to be some fun as well, right? You just can't trade without fun. Any one of you, just give me a yes if you were in the trading, if you were following me then. Any one of you don't have to be my traders. When I said break that top, it's going to come back and retest this low. Anybody was there when I said that? You don't, not my traders, the other guys, any one of the outside traders. My traders were all there. None of you were there, none of you were following me at that point in time. One person only? Come on, don't give me a joke, right? Exactly. And you already remember the guy who said, don't worry with this guy, he's crazy, right? He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. When this thing break here, it's going to go to 100K and then 200K, right? All of you are there. Yeah, he said, 200K and they were going up to heaven. And one guy even said it's going to heaven. I don't know. Maybe he is in heaven right now. I hope he's not. Don't blame me. I'm not saying anybody should die because of this. But he said this thing is going to heaven. I'm like, dude, you better don't go. You will end up in heaven without Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not going there. Right? And now guess what everybody is saying? Bitcoin looks like it's going to collapse. If you look at the market, oh my God, Bitcoin is falling. Oh my God, all those guys who trade. No. Now is when you have to be careful. When they're telling you it is useless and it's falling and it's no, you're all going to die. Let it break this low. Remember what we said. When it breaks this low, you want to look for buy setups here. We buy it, we close it. When it breaks this low, you want to look for buy setups here. We buy it, we close it. When it breaks this low, we will buy again. And if it consolidates, we'll close it. It drop again, we will buy. When it consolidates, we close it. One of them are going to do this and then do this and do this and do this and come back here. Maybe even break that top. And guess what's going to happen at that time? Right? Yeah, we're also looking for that, but first it has to drop. The same, somebody's asking a question. What about the scenario for euro short buys first, right? We will do that, but let it break the low first. We have bought euro a few times already. Once it broke the daily low, we started buying it. But then here's the thing, we don't keep the trades if they don't go, right? If the trade doesn't go, you don't keep it. I'll take a look at your chart. Just now somebody posted a chart to me. I'm answering all the questions. If you post a question and you think I didn't answer it, repost it. I'll answer it because I'm not skipping any of the questions. So we're looking for this to drop and break the low. You don't need to sell it. If you can sell it, it's okay. If you guys want to take the risk, it's going to drop, break this low. And then we will start to look for the upside. There's a good chance we're going to do this. It's going to come back here. It's going to come back here. It's going to make a running flat. It's going to come here and then go back up. Any one of you have seen this pattern? I actually just showed you that pattern. I showed you more than once too. I showed you that pattern on the Tomcat, I think. I showed you the pattern like what 3 times today. Can you imagine it? Now you've seen it when it's completed. Can you imagine it before it's completed? The only way you can draw this before it's completed that it's possible is knowing what it did in the past, is knowing all of those patterns completely. So when it comes here, we will start to buy, and that goes for all of them. Ethereum, same thing, let it go down, right? This is breaking out. You can see it in the 4-hour. It's breaking out. You can see that they're consolidating. We broke out of this. This looks like it's going to drop. It doesn't look like it's going back up. The only way this would be upside is if it's crawl up like this, come back here, and we see this as a flat for upside. We will buy from here. Otherwise, to that, this is going to drop, break the low, and then go back up. What other ones you want? All of them are the same things. You wanted what? You wanted their, sorry, let me go back. Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP. Okay, same thing. Nothing big. Same thing. CXRP. Look at this. This one drop. This one drop. What do you think this one is going to do? It's not like you have to guess. You can see drop, drop, drop. Break this low. We start looking for buy setups again. It doesn't mean that buy is going to go, but we will get out of it if it doesn't go, right? So yeah, what else we want to go? Let's go. Anything else? Understanding patterns, guys, is the paramount to saving you from losing your account. This is what is going to help you. We do this day in, as the traders which were in the group, they'll tell you, we do this day in, day out. Let's go. Oh, I wanted to see your Euro chart. Let me see what you have there. I don't think that is it. There's a reason why I don't think. I see what you're seeing, but I don't think that is it. This piece is my problem. Let me take the red. This piece here is my problem. It's not similar to this. This one is similar to this one. See that? See the difference? This piece is very congested. So it's either going to be this one or it could be this one. If this is the thing, then this could be 1, 2, and this could be 1, 2, 3. I'll go with that. Right? So this one, if it's going to go, if I think that is going to come here to retest that top, then I want to see it make a flag here. Then we can consider retesting that top with this trade. And if it goes there, come back, we take either a small profit or break even. If it takes off, we go, it can take off. We broke the low, right? So this could be the low that takes off. But we need this flag here. If we get the flag, perfect. Good work, by the way. At least you're seeing something in the patterns, right? You're not, I don't see it's slightly different, for example, but at least you're getting a view. Good job. Well done. What else? ADA. Let's see ADA. I think I have ADA on somewhere. Yeah, I have it. You know what? This is the only one we have upside for. And I'll tell you what, not big upside. See how I draw it? We have a 1, 2, 3 here. We have 1, 2, 3 here. Now there's a possibility of this consolidating here and going back up to this top, but then it has to drop and then go back. See? So yeah, this has some buying possibility here. Risky, but possible. Right? And remember, if you're trading these on long term, not a big deal. Don't worry. Overlapping corrections and motive waves. Overlapping corrections. I don't know what you mean by overlapping corrections. Take a chart and show me. Take a snapshot of a chart with the overlapping corrections you're talking about. I have no idea what that is, to be honest. So show me on a chart what that is. 2 or 3 bars of motive waves and sideways, the overlapping corrections, how to deal with it. 2 or 3 bars and sideways, the overlapping correct. I don't know what you mean by overlapping corrections. That's what I'm trying to figure out. You have to show me what I understand what overlapping is, but I can't visualize what you're talking about. Send me a chart. Send me a snapshot of a chart with that visual so I can put it. Yeah, but I know what a small impulse is. That doesn't help me. Send me a snapshot of the chart with that, right? Somebody's asking a question, right? How overlapping corrections and motive waves, 2 or 3 bars of motive waves and sideways to overlapping corrections, how to deal with it. I can tell you how to deal with it if I understand what you're asking. I don't visualize what you're saying. Send me a visual and that would work. Platinum. Somebody wants platinum. Somebody wants MANA. Okay, I have that on here. Let me look at this first. Same thing downside. See? This is going to break the low. And here's the problem. When this breaks the low, the chances are it's going to go back up like this. It's going to come back down and then go. So there will be a buy setup here though. That would be a good buy once it breaks the low. Unable to share photo. I don't think so. Somebody just shared the photo for me. Copy the link and send it. Somebody just gave me a link. I open it and show you in their chart. Do the same thing they did. Go to trading view, click on the camera, click on copy link, post the link here, and that's it. It's not a problem. Somebody just did it, right? So it's not a problem. Platinum. Let's see what. Are you afraid we're going to figure out what your trading view ID is? Don't worry about that. I don't have the time to waste on that. Just send it. Right? I don't have time. I don't have patience to do those stuff. So if you're worried about that, wrong place. Just send it. Let's go. Somebody is asking about what else? Platinum. I don't think I have that on. I think it's XPT, right? Or X. Let me search for it. XPT. Yeah, platinum. Let's see what that is. Okay, on the bigger picture where we are, the weekly. Well, this was a chart I did way back, right? You can see that was in November 21. Because you can see where I put this, right? Where I put this here. It's in November 21, November, late November, December, right? And this is the pattern we had. Well, guess the magic still works, right? We're thinking 1, 2, 3, and this was just a correction to keep going down and come back to break this low. Now, it could still be that this is a flat in here. I'll give you another option of that. It could still be that this is some kind of a weird flat here, that this would come here, break the low, go back up sharp like that, make a bigger one like this, and still come back here, right? So this possibility exists, but right now it's downside still. You can see that, but it's going down slow. I would agree with you that it's going down really slow, but you can get some good trades on it. You can still, if you trade it, you can get some good trades. We were looking for this to break. See that? We were looking for this to break. And not this one earlier, much earlier, but that broke, right? We were looking for this. This is a low. This would have been your trade up. That would have been your trend up, and then you would sell it, right? So you're selling, you're selling, you're selling. This would have been another sell setup forming. And then you sell this, and if this starts to correct upwards, you would let it go back, and then you'll sell again. You can buy up if you want to. Do I often use 618? Do you see me using it anywhere? I don't use it. It's a hype. It's more of a hype than a reality. Focus on the patterns. I'm going to tell you guys what to focus on. Don't focus on the hypes in the market. Focus on the patterns. Remember, the whole thing is, again, if you didn't watch yesterday's New York session and share it. It's very, very important. The point is not what pattern is making. The point is not the market is making an ABC or a WXY or a flat or a square or a triangle. The market is not doing that. The market is doing something else. The market is trying to make money, right? People, the traders of the market, the movers of the market are trying to make money. And by doing that, they create patterns. Because if you want to buy orange, let's say tomorrow you decide, hey, I'm going to open a shop and I'm going to sell cars. I'm going to sell used cars. Let's go with that. I'm going to sell used cars. So first you would have to get your shop. And the next thing you would have to do is you would have to stock up your shop. So you would have to go and buy a lot of used cars for very cheap, right? You'll have to stock up it with a lot of used cars for very cheap. So if you're buying used cars at this price, your chances I'll sell it at this price. You will go and you will put the price for used cars there so that this is your profit, right? So let's say next time you go back to buy used cars, the price is here, right? You would buy them and you would put your sell there. And let's say the next time you go to buy, the used cars price have gone up here, you would put your profit there. You realize you're getting something here. And then you realize this price for used car is too high. Nobody's buying. So you have two choices. You can drop the price, create a promotion and drop the price and sell off because you need to get rid of them. So buy new stock. And then you will buy back at the bottom here. You want to buy cheaper than this price because nobody's buying for that price anymore. Or the price still keeps going up. And repeat that process. But at some point, used cars prices are too expensive, so they will drop. You will sell off everything, and then you'll buy back new stock here, sell it here, buy back new stock here, sell it here, buy back new stock here. So you get this, and then at some point, this also will not deal till it drop. And then when it reaches a point where it's too low, you can't buy car for cheaper than that. You're gonna go back here, buy here, sell there, buy here, sell there, buy here, sell, and you create a trend to the upside. It's pretty easy. It's not that complicated. It's all about making money that creates these patterns. If you understand it, if you've ever done retail trading, done anything of buying and selling, you understand it's a basic concept. And that basic concept creates a pattern. And that is the pattern we're trying to identify. If you identify it correctly, you're going to be on the right side. Okay, somebody send me a chart. Let me see what that is. Please shed some light on it. Let's see. This is what? You have to give me the full chart. So let's see. I think I should get it there. You're in the daily. Let's put it in the weekly and see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like in the weekly. If this is all the chart, right? I'll assume this is all. So you've got this move and you come down here. You can probably look at this as a running flat in there because you broke the low. So this would probably go back higher. You see? So you've got this move down. You get a 1, 2, 3 up there. That's a running flat in there. You broke the low of this one. You go up, you make a correction here. You're going to break the top. Eventually, this should go up. Big picture, right? Let's go down to the daily. So you can see what I'm showing you, right? The daily, this would be the running flat in the middle. It's a perfect one, by the way. And now you're going up with this and you're consolidating in here. You see, you got another pattern in here. You've got something here. You kind of make 1, 2, 3. If this makes a flag here, buy this to go up. If it goes lower, just give it time to make another one, drop, then look for a buy setup from within that. I hope that helps. You don't have to do it in the daily. You follow what I'm saying, right? You can buy up and down. I'm in the daily. You can trade that thing up and down. So basically, you can trade it down now to break this low. And then eventually, you're going to be looking for the upside. But you got the idea, right? So I hope that helped. Let's see. Do you often know, what was the next one? EuroCAD. Let's see what the EuroCAD one is. This is a very short one. I'm not sure what you're looking for there. You're looking for that cell. We already showed you. We're looking for that cell on the EuroCAD. So if you're talking about getting the cell, yeah, that's what we're doing. We're looking for that cell. So let me close this. I can show you my EuroCAD. That's the same thing we have. EuroCAD. See, we're expecting this to drop, and we have an entry order to sell here. If it goes up, we are not interested. I'm not interested in the buy at the moment. Let's go. What else? We have a no, sir. I have shared different charts. Let me see this one. Okay, you finally got the link. So let's see. So what you're looking for, again, you're looking at it incorrectly, right? So this line is incorrect. You have an impulse, you have a small flag, and you have another impulse. This is 1, 2, 3. That is one impulse. And then you have this. See this? You can either take this as a contracting flat, which is 1, 2, 3. And this is a down move, a flag, 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 a down move, a bigger correction here, and then go. There will probably be a correction here in the lower time frame. So this would be a contracting flat here. So this is which chart? Nifty. This is which 3 minutes you're looking at? Is that a 3-minute chart? Don't go into the 3 minutes if you don't have the skill level to do it on the 1 hour. So this is the top. That's the impulse. This is the correction. We're going down. You see, this thing was going up like this slowly. It is dropping now. So that is it. There, it's not overlapping. It's part of one of the same pattern. What about this scenario in the euro? I think we looked at the euro already in that scenario. Okay, this possibility is even better. I like this. If we get a consolidation here like this, and this does something like that, we could consider it. But the problem is this: it's relatively sharp. But I will go with that. If you get 1, 2, 3 like this, and then we get a sharp move down here, yep, that would work. I'll go with that and a possible move up. But that is so complex. Here's the thing: don't overcomplicate your life. Don't make too many complex patterns, because if you do that, what you're doing is you're preventing yourself from seeing all the possibilities. Just keep that as a possibility and keep this as a possibility. So it could either drop or it could go up, make a flag and go with these two. These are the two most immediate possibilities. This is one of the things you have to do when you're trading. You will get more than one possibilities. You can find, I don't know, 20 possibilities if you keep extending it. When you're trading now, I'm looking for my next trade, the most immediate possibilities, and deal with that. Don't deal with, if you start doing this, you will not buy it, you will not sell it, because you're waiting for all of this to happen. And you might be too late. By the time all that happened, the chart is way up, going away without you. And you're like, okay, why did all of that didn't happen? Right? So deal with the most immediate piece right now. I see different patterns. That's okay. I'm not know which one you refer to, which one you refer. And the euro, the euro, if you're referring to, if you see a different, I have no objection with that. My traders see it different from me. Ask them. When we come in the trading room, traders tell me, hey, look, I see this a little different. I'm like, okay, no problem. Show me what you have and we'll deal with it. I think we did this already. It's the same chart you sent. Oh, that is me going backwards, right? Sorry. We did that. Let me just close them. Otherwise, we'll have too many. And I'll keep repeating them. We did that already. And this one is what? Somebody said this one. Let me see. This is what? This is on what? Some music. I'm not sure what this chart is, but you're asking me if it's going to do this. And you see 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's a high probability of going back up. I agree with you. I like it. I like the idea though. Wait for a consolidation here, because it can still drop and it can still drop and it can still drop and then it can go up, right? So what you want is a consolidation here to prove that there's another impulse up. But good, I like the idea. Waiting for a flatter flag. How important is it do they happen? That's the most important thing. Waiting for a correction. That is what confirms your trade. So let's say you see something like this. And you think it's going to come here. I'm not, forget about what's in front and what's at the back. Let's just go with very simple. You think this price is here, but it's going to go there. And you said, well, I'm going to buy it here. I'm going to buy it there because I think it's coming here. It can tag you and drop like that, because you really don't know whether it's going to go there. You're just assuming it can go there, right? It can tag you and stay here for a very long time. And you get tired and you close it, and then you watch it go there. See? So the whole purpose of an impulse correction impulse is this, is that if you get an impulse and you get a flag, the probability of this flag making another impulse like this is about 80%. The probability of the flag breaking the top like this and reversing is about 95%. There's only about a 5% chance this flag doesn't go up there, right? And then actually come down like this, right? Actually break through the low. Then we would look backwards for a contracting flat or another flat where this impulse is involved, or we would look for here in a contracting flat, right? That's a 5% chance, right? The chance of this breaking out, but not going to the target, but tagging you and then pull back, which is what most traders complain about. That's only a very small percentage of it. But we have money, we have trade management rules to help you get out of that if it doesn't happen, right? If that doesn't happen, then you get the hell out of it. Because we have enough trade management rules to say, okay, if this doesn't go and it starts to do X, Y, Z, get the hell out of it. So basically the CAD is doing that right now, right? We're on the dollar CAD and we're looking at this trade, and even on the 1 hour, you notice you got tagged on this one. It didn't go that one. This one make a, this one is going up. So can this actually go back and take you out here? It's rare. It's very rare that this is going to do this and take out your stop loss. Now, we would put it to break even when it breaks this low, but it didn't break the low. And I don't think we have enough reasons to close it here as yet. By rule, we don't have enough reason to close it because the next candle could do this. Right? The next candle opens here and then do that, and you're out of the trade. But if it starts to consolidate in this range, we have to get the hell out of it. Right? Because now it's consolidating, it's not going. We don't need it to consolidate. We need it to drop like this. So when you put an entry here and you take this trade, You need it to drop, you close it, you put an entry here, you need this to drop. This is your trade. Right? So this has to drop, not consolidate. If you took this trade, you would close it here. By rule, we would close it there. See? So the flags are important, very, very important. Can we see this pattern like this? It's a crypto. Okay, yes, sir. I think, oh, the pattern you showed me. Okay, yes, I already showed you, so good. How to detect regular flats easily and quickly in the charts, please. Is there a technique? Yeah, there is. Learn all the patterns. Memorize all the patterns you see. So you need someone to teach you what all the patterns look like, all the patterns and all their variations. You need to practice it, then you need to come back and let the person who teach you watch how you do it, correct what you're doing wrong. Then you need to join a group of professional traders who already know this stuff for about 4 or 5 years, trading it on a daily pattern so you can keep identifying it for days and days and weeks and months until you have an imprint in your brain. Literally, you have an imprint. That program is downloaded and well known on your brain. So when you see a pattern immediately, you don't have to see a complete pattern. When you see part of a pattern, what you're going to do is you're going to take that part and say, okay, let me extend this part to make a complete pattern. What are the possibilities? So, you know, they have these kind of thing. Here is one, and here is one, and here is one. Like make one more or add one more matchstick to it and make a triangle, or take out one and make a square or whatever, you know, those things. Basically, that's what you're doing. You have this 3 piece of the puzzle and you have to make a square, right? Using one piece. So your thought process is, okay, well, either this is going to come here and this is going to go up and I'll get a square, right? Or either I have to cut this piece out and make a square. So your process is knowing what a square looks like makes you know how to make a square. So if I give you, I don't know, if I give you 4 pieces of stick and each one are different length, and I said, okay, I want you to make a square with those 4. If you don't know what a square is, you can't make it. But if you know what a square is, you could put those 4 together, cut some of them, and make a square. So it's the same thing with patterns. When I said draw a flat, or when you tell me, is there a way to detect a regular flat? I would say, of course. You just have to know what a regular flat is. You have to know all its variations. You have to know how to correctly identify it. And now when you see it, you will detect it. I guarantee you will. I think you got the message, right? Take the course, learn to do it, and then you will do it correctly. It's like saying, can I kick a ball into the goal? If you go to the trainer and say, hey, I've never played football, but can I kick that ball into the goal? And he will say, sure. Join the group, run in there and start practicing. Right? He'll just throw you in the team and said, okay, go in there and start practice. Eventually you'll kick it in. Traders want to kick it without practice. They think it's easy. Well, if you draw a box like that every time, you're not going to be able to trade. This is useless information. What you did there is useless information. It doesn't tell you where the trade is. It doesn't tell you what to do with that. We can all draw boxes hindsight. It's useless. What would you do with that box? Tell me. I showed you a very specific trade with the rules, the strategy, everything. We want C-wave. See, I don't know where your C-wave is supposed to be. The previous 2 charts the guy posted made sense, right? Because at least they showed the patterns. All you're showing me is everything in a square box. It doesn't make sense. That way, it's useless. You can't use that information, right? You have to make it usable. So let me show you in the euro. This is usable information, right? I'm looking at the whole structure and I'm thinking, okay, either this is the pattern, 1, 2, 3. That is the pattern, and we're dropping, making flags, dropping, making flags, dropping. Come back to this level. And then from there, if we go back up like this, and we come down sharp, one person even showed this, we can probably look at this as a flat, right? As a bigger flat, we can do that. What if this becomes the low in an expanding ending diagonal like this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this takes off. You follow? So is this a trade you would like? Yeah, that's a good trade. Take it. See how the information becomes useful. You have to make sure, you have to set it up, understand the patterns and the rules so that it becomes useful information. But if I just come and put a box around here and said, okay, we're looking for, I don't know, I'm looking for a C wave. What do you do with that information? By the way, a lot of traders a lot of the YouTube videos do stuff like this. I see YouTube videos who do stuff like this. They said, okay, we will wait until it come out of the box and then we will trade. Well, guess what will happen when it come out of the box? I'm going to show you what to do. It will come out of the box and then it will start to do this. And guess what they will show you the next week? The next week they'll say, okay, when this come out of the box, we will trade. So you're like, hey, yeah, that's good. That guy said it's going to come out of the box. It came out of the box. But where was the trade? This was your trade. He didn't take the trade. He let it come out of the box. And then it started. He said, okay, when it come out of this box, we will trade. It comes out of that box and it starts to do this. You still don't have a trade. Because when it comes out of this box, it's going to do this again. And then it's keep dropping and you're not getting the trades that you're supposed to get. All those are trade setups you're missing. You follow? And I see traders do that on YouTube. I see the YouTube videos looking like that. It's funny. I find them funny. PSC forecast. Let's see if you're getting it correct. This is on, okay. Yeah, looks good. I need to know what is in front, but it looks good. Based on what you have right now, looks good. I just need to know what is like, where this come from. Because you're showing me part of it, but this part, if this is part of what you're showing, yeah, makes sense. It could come back here as a 1, 2, 3, and then go back. If this is coming from the bottom, if this is coming from the top, that is slightly different, right? If this is coming from the bottom here, that makes sense. If it is coming from the top, it could be slight, or especially if this belongs to something in the past, then it slightly varies. You follow my point, right? But you got the point. I think you got the understanding of wave analysis a little. So that makes sense. Let's see what else we have. This is what? Yeah. A, B, C. No, that is incorrect. The B is incorrect. The B part is incorrect. If you want to look at it that way, you have to look at it like an A. The B would have to be somewhere here. This would have to be your B, and that would have to be your C if you look at it that way. Follow? So you'd have to find your patterns in here. You'd have to find your patterns inside here. Because the B wave is a corrective structure. These are impulsive structures. Make sense? Coming from bottom, yeah. The idea is to catch the impulsive waves, always. So, okay, guys, we're here for more than an hour and a half. We're here since 11. Now it's 12:30. I think everybody's a bit tired. We'll close it up. We still have another session this afternoon. Join us. We have sessions for the whole week. I hope to see all of you. Don't just come alone. Bring somebody. So we had 40-something people this morning. I hope to see about 80-something in the afternoon. Make sure you invite one person to come. Find a trader you know who would like to see this and bring him. See all of you. Thank you for being here. Have a good day. Trade with care. Bye.